I've done nothing. My kids love me. I'm a really good mom. Everybody that knows me will tell you.
What's happened to Karen Reardon should be a crime.
It is a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
In fact, her lawyer says it is.
On a 1 to 10, this is a 10 in terms of bad. It's as simple as that.
Just minutes before our interview, Nicola Kuna had sought an injunction hearing from a court in the Connecticut state capitol. It is unlikely to stop the injustice. Karen's been kept away from her 3 children for 17 long months, and she's not allowed to see them.
She is not allowed to see them, not allowed to have contact with them, and in my opinion, those are illegal orders.
What do you think it's done to the kids?
It's destroyed them.
For most of her kids' lives, she was essentially a single mom. Her husband, Chris Ambrose, spent much of his time off in Hollywood. A scriptwriter for shows like Law & Order, and ironically, a show called Family Law. Mr. Ambrose, I'm Wayne Dolcefino. We'd like to talk to you about your custody case. When his own divorce began in 2019, Mr. Ambrose began accusing Karen of parental alienation. We've heard that one before. In high conflict divorce cases like this one, that's why a guardian ad litem was appointed.
A guardian ad litem is somebody who's appointed by the court to represent the best interests of a child or children in a divorce or custody proceeding.
And in this case, it's attorney Jocelyn Hurwitz. Since September of 2019, she's run up legal bills totaling, wait for it, more than $187,000. She never returned our phone calls, and I kind of think I know why. You know how many times this protector of the children has even met with the 3 Ambrose children? Based on her own billings, just 4 times. 4 times in more than 2 years. Maybe Ms. Hurwitz doesn't even know that Karen's daughter has experienced dramatic physical changes since she was taken away from her mom back in April of 2020. Even when she's not testifying, Hurwitz is still getting paid more than $3,000 a day just to sit in court. But even if she had really earned all the money she's made on this case, how could she possibly be a neutral party anymore? All of her legal bills, all of them, are being paid by the father in this case. We're calling the police. Hi, Mr. Ambrose.
Yeah, I've asked them to leave and they're standing here with a camera.
Oh, did you ask us to leave? We'll leave.
I did ask you to leave.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. We'll be glad to leave. I'm looking for Dr. Caverly.
No comment, thank you.
Well, hold on. You don't even know what I'm asking. That was the greeting when we went to visit another controversial expert in this case of family injustice.
Yeah, no, we have no comment, okay?
Okay, is she here?
No comment.
You're not even going to tell me if she's here? We're talking about Dr. Jessica Byron Caverly, the licensed psychologist who decided Karen Reardon had a sudden hidden mental disorder. No specific diagnoses, but, quote, a significant personality disorder that impacts her ability to effectively co-parent with Mr. Ambrose.
It's lies. It's just lies. There's no way this would happen. But what they do is they make it so extreme that it's like, well, something had to happen.
Despite their protests, the children's opinions were to be ignored. Byron Caverly recommended sole legal custody to the father. A psychiatrist treating the family called the report, quote, misguided, dangerous, and could be considered malpractice. Another psychiatrist feared the kids might now be in imminent danger. But Byron Caverly's report called for Karen to not see her kids for a period of 90 days. But instead of that separation, it's dragged on now for 1.5 years with no real good explanation. The Connecticut judge who's allowed this unexplained injustice is Gerard Edelman.
My commitment and my goal is to provide every citizen who comes to the court with a fair, objective, and meaningful hearing.
Judges are appointed in Connecticut, but when Edelman was reappointed in 2017, it wasn't smooth sailing.
Some people have accused you of being biased against them, and in particular that they feel you have a bias against women litigants.
A lifelong friend of Karen Reardon told me the lawyers, experts, and judge in this case should be ashamed. And you know what? He's right. But her lawyer says this is part of the family court game plan in Connecticut.
There's certain attorneys that are known to support the removal of children from their mother, and there's certain psychologists that are known to issue fabricated and trumped up evaluations to make the mother seem like she's crazy and alienated the children's affection from their father.
And that's what they now say about Karen Reardon, a woman who taught special education in Greenwich, Connecticut schools for 17 years.
Anybody who is going to take children from a mother, it is anxiety inducing. It's like I'm dead.
She ain't crazy.
She ain't crazy. When I tell people what I've been going through with her, people are like, what? Wait, what? It's so unbelievable that it doesn't seem possible.
When Karen's daughter ran away to see her mom, Madison police made her go back, despite her serious outcry of abuse caught on tape.
My dad told me to kill myself, and then they just stared at me for like 10 seconds.
And now this small-town Connecticut police department has apparently chosen to ignore my warnings that these children desperately need help. I can't say how, but after our visit to the Ambrose house, the children got a message to me that they need help. Quoting, "We're being abused. We're scared of him all the time. He threatens us and says we're sick." Allegations of mental and sexual abuse inside the house that we cannot independently confirm. We'll be glad to leave, but we can't leave with you sitting in front of the car. We relayed the message for help to the Madison Police Chief Jack Drum, despite what his officers had told Karen Reardon.
Why would you call Chief Drum?
Because Chief Drum is involved in the case. He's been involved in the case since...
He's an administrative officer. We are on the street. You should have called dispatch.
Weeks later, still crickets from the chief.
Everything they knew and understood life to be was ripped away from them. They've been held captive, in my opinion.
Because they haven't seen anybody in 16 months. It's not just me. They have no Wi-Fi, they have no phones, they have no computers. People try and see them and send them stuff, and they're cut off. They got ripped out of their life. How is that healthy?
We would have asked Jocelyn Hurwitz that very question if she had called us back, because she's made so much money to protect these kids. We would have asked psychologist Dr. Jessica Byron Caverly or the judge, Gerard Edelman. And that's what Karen Reardon's biggest crime may be, just fighting back. You know, the family court system, it doesn't like that. Money's gonna trump what's the right thing to do.
Always does, doesn't it?
So this desperate mom is now forced to talk to her kids through us. I hope they get to see this.
I'm so sorry. And I love you, and I miss you, and this never should have happened, and I'm doing everything I can 24/7, and Mom loves you, and Michelle, your whole family, Papa, Jody, all your cousins, your aunts, everybody loves you.